Welcome to AutoSens, the world's leading community for ADAS and autonomous vehicle technology development. We create best-in-class events, training, and information for the purpose of connecting the global community of scientists, engineers, and other automotive industry experts. One such expert joining us now, returning to the AutoSens family, Manuel Ott, R&D Manager at Solectrix. And Manuel, good to see you again, friend.
Good to see you as well. I'm happy to be back again.
Yeah. And what an event we had earlier this summer. So on June 26th, I had the opportunity to host for Solectrix a LinkedIn Live event called The Future of Embedded Vision: Trends, Tools, and Image Processing Insights. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description that will take you to the Solectrix YouTube channel so you can see the full event. Manuel, there were a lot of great insights that were shared in that event. It was around SXIVE 2.0. So let's take a second. What is SXIVE 2.0? And then recap that LinkedIn Live event for us a little bit.
Sure. Just to make it a little bit shorter, basically, than this entire LinkedIn Live event, SXIVE 2.0 is basically a program. It consists of multiple different software tools. Like first starts with a soft ISP SDK where customers can use or configure their own ISP according to their needs, whatever they require. Then it also consists of a calibration SDK and a sensor configuration tool. So that means with the calibration SDK, we can calibrate that soft ISP or any ISP basically, meaning color correction matrix, lens distortion correction, or stuff like that. And with the sensor configuration tool, we offer our customers a tool to communicate with the sensor, with the registers in the sensor, to have the entire tool chain, the entire image chain within one tool set. And at the end of that, there's also the IQ analyzer from image engineering, since we have a cooperation with image engineering here, where we can extract KPIs from the image to see how good basically the ISP is performing, how good the calibration was, to get the best image out of the available components, such as camera and chip and so on and so forth, and the lens, of course. And on top of that, we offer also hardware bundles. That means we have like a LT bundle, which is with a small NVIDIA Orin system, or an HP bundle with a x86 system. But those hardware bundles are more like a vehicle to bring our software to our customers. So that means for our customers, SXIVE 2.0 helps them to tune or to configure their camera-based system from the very beginning, from the sensor all the way to a KPI measurement tool.
And again, that event took place on June 26th, was a LinkedIn Live event. It's now been archived on the Solectrix YouTube channel. Future of Embedded Vision: Trends, Tools, and Image Processing Insights. I had the opportunity to host that. Manuel gave a presentation, also Uwe Artman from Image Engineering, as Manuel mentioned, and then Sven Fleck as well from SmartServe Vision Systems. So three very respected members of the AutoSens family. Again, I will leave a link in the description to that LinkedIn Live event that goes over SXIVE 2.0. Manuel, let's talk about the Solectrix customer. What does your typical customer do? What types of goals do they have? What types of challenges they have? Take us through a typical customer profile at Solectrix.
Right. Actually, it is not that easy to have that typical customer profile, because for SXIVE, the customer start, for example, in pre-development. So they do not know yet what kind of sensor they need, what kind of camera or lens they need, what kind of illumination do they need. So with SXIVE, they bring up the different types, the variants they have within the pre-development up and running, and see very easily like what are the different characteristics of the camera they want to use within their use case. Then during series development, we have a rapid prototyping system. So other customers who come from pre-development or more in serious development, they know what kind of sensor they want to use. They know what kind of microcontroller they want to use, what kind of ISP they want to use. However, when they develop that, it takes some time to do the hardware development, to define the interfaces and have the first image out takes sometimes up to half a year, like to be able to test in the use case. And with XR, if you have a rapid prototyping system, it takes us maybe a week to get the sensor up and running with XIVE, to have like a default ISP running and present our customer an image in their use case. So this is also during series development, and then later in the series development, when our customers are moving on, they have the final hardware, or they move on in the hardware development, have a B sample, C sample, D sample, then they have SXIVE as a bug shooting tool where they can very easily find bugs when, for example, from vendor A comes the camera head, vendor B comes the ISP, and when they integrate that, they partially integrate it first with XIVE and see whether or not those hardware does fulfill the requirements they originally needed, so that the integration works smoothly. And our third customer type is at the end, is more on a testing side, where they need a reference system, where they want is specifically to test if the KPIs they wanted to have in the beginning are really meeting, so the expectation meet the final result. And there, some customers use XIVE to have a tool where they can feed the stream to, and then see whether or not the KPIs are meeting. And so that means from pre-development over series development all the way to testing is all used within the XIVE customer profiles.
Manuel, here's a question that we have covered before, but with everything you're saying, does this mean that anybody and everybody can use SXIVE without any support from Solectrix whatsoever?
Right. So the answer is yes and no.
Sure,
so
sure.
so when a customer comes to us, they need to know what they are doing. That means you need to have some know-how about how to set up the SerDes connection, how to do the sensor configuration, how to parameterize or put the parameter into the ISP, and then also how to do some rough calibration. This is all human readable. So that means within our software suite, it is possible to do all this by themselves. So we have customers who are quite knowledgeable in those different fields. And those customers can use XIVE without support from Solectrix. No problem at all. And also Solectrix is happy to provide those customers the software. And then like if they don't need our support, then that's fine with us. However, since those technologies, SerDes connection, sensor configuration, ISP characterization, and calibration is some kind of a specific know-how, you need to have this know-how in-house. Otherwise, Solectrix is very happy to help. So that means we offer also support to our customers, saying that we can do the bring up within a few days. However, even though we are doing that for years and years and years, it takes us a few days to get them up and running, because there are always very specific use cases, very specific serializer, deserializer connections, specific sensor configuration, stuff like that. And we need to look into those details. So since you said we covered this question earlier already, it takes some time. Everybody can do that because it is human readable, but it needs some knowledge. And really, that's kind of important for me to bring this message out to everybody. So Lectrix is there to help you if you need the support. But if you don't need the support, we are also very happy to provide you with the software, and you can do it by yourself since it is human readable.
And that is my next question. You said Solectrix does have this know-how to be able to provide these tools. So if I do need to reach out to you, Manuel,
Right.
you're able to provide me that assistance and that expertise that I need as a Solectrix customer. So where does all this come from within
Mm.
Solectrix? How did you gain this knowledge base? How did you get this know-how to be able to provide these tools?
Right, right. So if you look at Solectrix itself as a company, we are working in different markets, such as in a medical market, in the professional video market, so studio technic market, in the industrial market and automotive market. Within all those different markets, we are working on camera-related topics and systems. For example, when Solectrix was founded, one of our first customer came from the cinematic market. So we were working on cinematic cameras. So we had one customer from Munich, which is making cameras for Hollywood studios. So there we gain a lot of know how to do this embedded vision, how to process these images on the hardware. And we also made our own camera in this studio technique segment and brought this know-how to the different markets. We have the CineScope. We have a 3D microscope for the medical market. We were working on the first mirror replacement series. We were working on the first mirror replacement system for series. So that means for the Daimler Actros, for our customer Micro Lang, we did the ISP there. And also we are working on different Ethernet-based cameras and stuff like that. So that means throughout 20 years of history, we are working on camera-related topics. And there we have all the know-how which is needed to provide all the support.
Yeah, and that, Manuel, is what was so incredible. I go back to that SXIVE 2.0, that LinkedIn Live event we had back
Right.
on June 26, 2025. Future of Embedded Vision, Trends, Tools, and Image Processing Insights. Again, a link to that archive event in the description. And we talked about that. We talked about how Solectrix had this wide depth of experience from industrial to medical to film, and how all of that for the AutoSense attendee, how all of that can be leveraged for the automotive market.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Manuel Ott, R&D Manager at Solectrix. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Looking forward to seeing you in person in Barcelona for AutoSens Europe 2025, October 7th through the 9th. But until then, friend, thank you for being with us virtually anyway.
Thank you, Carl, for having me. And whoever wants to know more about SXIVE 2.0 or Solectrix itself, please feel free to drop by at our booth. I'm really happy to talk more about our experiences.
For more information on Solectrix and to find out more about our upcoming events, again, see the links in the description or visit auto-sense.com. That's auto-sense.com. For more in-depth interviews like this, subscribe to the AutoSense YouTube channel and follow AutoSense on LinkedIn. In Detroit, on behalf of AutoSense, I'm Carl Anthony.